time. So this thing says we're live.
Well,
You know what time it is. It's your favorite social media coach, Melle Howard. Coach Melle in the building with your favorite cool uncle, Uncle Flood, and they're going to take you inside the game. So sit down, relax, get your favorite beverage, and hang as they take you across the SWAT, especially in Southern University football and professional sports as they talk Monday Night Football here on Inside the Game. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, I think that we are back and ready for action.
yes, we're somewhat back.
Are
Hope
we?
everybody.
I see people. I see my grass is green.
Yes.
I'm not in the clouds anymore.
No.
Okay, so
Are
I
we?
think we're.
Are we on Facebook and are we on Facebook and YouTube?
I think we're go to my Facebook page. I can see because I see
That's what I'm
again.
about to do and check it out.
Um,
I see skies of blue. Let's see. Maybe we have something here. See if we can have all of our friends join us. It's spooling and spooling and spooling. See if we have something. By the way, he's Melle Howard. I'm Uncle Flood. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Reggie Flood. And it's Inside the Game with Coach Melle and Uncle Flood.
Yeah, we're here. I think
We're
I
here.
think we may be good. I think. Do you see it now?
No, it's not there. But the show must go on.
Yes, it must. And again, it says live on my Facebook, but it doesn't give me the option to share like it normally does. I'm gonna have somebody. Let's see. But if not, we're gonna go ahead and go forward, and then we will get this recorded and up on all of the platforms and places alike. So if you're just joining us, we had hopped on before. We had some technical difficulties, so we hopped into a new situation. So we don't know if it's still working as we would like, but hopefully it is. I see more people are able to join, and I can see when they're joining now. So hopefully there's something or some platform where people are able to see us in this moment.
Yeah, hopefully it is because I don't see us on YouTube, but hopefully it's somewhere that people can join us. I see Edwin asked, did we start a new stream? Yes, we did, Edwin.
Yes, and I see because according to the streaming thing, it's being shown. There is people who are watching via YouTube, so I'm just probably not able to see folks who are watching.
I know that there are people who are waiting on YouTube. They're waiting and they're waiting for us to join. I don't know if they're actually seeing us, but that's okay too. We're live. Yes,
we're live somewhere, and hopefully someone
we're live somewhere.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
See us.
Wherever they see us, great. Amen. We're back. We were here. We had technical difficulties, but we're back. And breaking down all the things. So Unc gave his game ball to the Jaguar Nation. So shout out to the Jaguar Nation for showing up in droves to Atlanta. He called them a Jaguar community. He called us the Jaguar community. Yes. I say that we're a nation. I think that stadium seats 24,000, and they said the attendance is 16,000. 15,999 of them were Jaguars, and NCCU had one. But no, I think that we did our part. We were supposed to bring our half. We had our half plus more. But no, I still think it was a great atmosphere. Like when I was reading the numbers, I never know when they are calculating tickets, what they're looking at. Many times it has to me, I guess it's paid tickets or whatever, because the numbers never reflect what it feels like in the stadium when you're there.
Traditionally, what they count is everybody in the stadium. It's overall attendance is usually the number that they give out as opposed to paid attendance. So that means they're counting band,
everybody
who's in the stadium. That's normally. And I'll say this: the Jaguar community, the Jaguar, I'll use quote unquote nation. We were there. We were there in droves. And it was a great crowd. Like I said, they were really involved in it. They wanted something. They wanted to be involved. They wanted to give the defense Jags defense. They wanted the dog they do. They wanted to go to. They wanted to do all of that. the team just didn't give them a lot to go with.
Yeah.
But they were in the game. Well, turning the cameras around. They were in the game. Our crowd was in the game. Our fans were in the game, and it was I just that's why I gave the game ball to our fans, man, because they showed up and they were involved in it, and I was proud of them because they were really engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Marriott Marquis, great host hotel. I mean, they really gave like a pre-value classic vibes, like the Hyatt does. I mean, the energy, the hotel energy, all that was great. I really felt really good going into the game. And I felt good for a little bit at the game. Tailgate, shout out to the Alumni Chapter, great tailgate. I gave my game ball to Trey Holly for his welcome back again, thinking about Southern being school of opportunity. And giving people an opportunity, second chance to get themselves right. So the young man.
Shout out to Varric Williams and crew, man. I will put up Varric as Southern University's greatest living fan. You and Varric, I mean, you're there. Like, but Varric
is a legend.
Varric is legendary. The man, R&V, RV, and camper all the way across. Tailgating, getting there 5 a.m, tailgating all day and all night. Going, so that him and his crew, they're legendary Southern night. So yeah, shouts out to them too. You reminded me of them when you said about the tailgate party.
Yes. We are giving Varga a run for his money. He is legendary. But no, I really before we even get into the game, since we're talking about the fan base, I made a mention of that in the Coach Melle report about like just being so excited to think about when I was a kid, how we used to get checked out of school and go to games, and like how that generation of Jaguar Nation is gotten older. People have died off, like people don't attend anymore. So it's really incumbent upon us to like create the atmosphere, to create the new edition of the Jaguar Nation. And so when I was a kid, it didn't matter what the team was doing. We were going to the game just because that's what we did. And so my friends and I try to keep up that same tradition. And so shout out to the people who paved the way for us to do this. I love it. No place I'd rather be. Exactly. So getting into the game. I mean, as we think about the game, like what is, when you just think about the first thought that comes to your mind when you think about Saturday's game, what is that thought that you have for the people as we discuss Saturday's loss, 31 North Carolina Central, Southern 14?
Disappointment. It was disappointing. It was disappointing for the fan base. It was disappointing for the players. You could read the disappointment, feel the disappointment. It was disappointment for the coaches. And I think it was just the expectations were high. And I think had Southern come out and played well and just lost to a better team, I think people would have been okay with that. But it was the way that they came out, not looking prepared, some of the things going on behind the scenes. And I thought that the moment may have been too big for the coaching staff. And I don't mean that in terms of coaching. They're professional guys, but I thought sometimes when you are when you're in situations like that, and I've seen this happen before, there's some pressure involved. There is, the will, you want to win that game. You do all those things, and you get to that moment, and it's almost like it's not choking, it's just being too involved in it. It was too much intensity from the coaching staff, is what I noticed. And I don't think the intensity was the intensity that trickles down to the players. I thought it was more so, I thought it caused more of a disconnect than it did to make it to get the team focused. And I thought that there may have been some of the pressure that the coaching staff felt to get a big victory, because I know they've heard the chatter. I always say don't listen to the social media or the internet, but the fact is they do. Our coaches are active on social media. They hear the chatter. They see the chatter. So I felt like they were feeling some of that pressure to try to get a victory. And I know they'll deny it, but it was evident in looking at the bench and what was going on. And I felt like that trickled down to the team. And I felt like, my pregame synopsis of the game was we had to get to a fast start offensively in order to let the defense get their feet under, let them get their feet well, because we basically had 3 new guys and Kelby Givens. And then we had, our defensive backfield. We had our 2 safeties who were veterans. And then Vince, But it was basically those 4 guys and 7 new guys for the most part. Yeah. And so you saw that on defense.
Yeah, I think that's something to be said. I think that was one of the things that was like my first thought going into the game, and I was watching some other shows and thinking about like reading up on the MEAC news, because I watch MEAC football, but it's not I don't really get all into it. But to see that they had so many veterans returning, I knew that was a tough task in itself. Like, you have a team that has been playing together, that has like understands each other's position on the field, versus our team, especially on defense, really finding the puzzles. I think the defensive line was probably the biggest weak point. I mean, I feel like we got absolutely no traction at the defensive line.
Yeah, we got whipped.
And so, I mean, the defense was like the most obvious eyeballing thing that I think was the difference in the game. And there's just a veteran team. I think that team beats the majority of SWAT teams in the opening game, as we think about figuring it out. So when we think about the quarterback situation, that's what people are talking about the most. Obviously, Jaylen Woods didn't play. Well, Jaylen Woods didn't start the game. Cam McCoy, transfer from Jackson State, ended up being our starting quarterback. Had a great opening drive. Scored our first touchdown. What is your thoughts on the whole quarterback situation? Is there a situation? What do you tell the people?
I don't know. I was disappointed, and I felt like his teammates were disappointed. I felt like the whole, everybody was disappointed in Jaylen Woods. And that's not to say that he's a bad kid or bad guy, anything. He made a mistake, and you have to pay the price. I've seen people say, well, he missed the bus. He should have just sat out the first half. No, Coach did the right thing.
I agree.
He did the right thing, because you can't, and like Edwin says, shout out to Edwin and everybody who's joining us live. You can't miss the bus from campus. If he had missed the bus from the hotel to the game, that's one thing. Then you say, okay, I'm going to bench you for the first series. I'm going to bench you for the first quarter, and we go on from there. That's something. But when you miss the bus literally from the stadium to Atlanta, that's inexcusable. And you're the starting quarterback. You are the leader and the face of the team. You are the starting quarterback going to your hometown to play on national television.
Yeah, that's just when I got the text message as we're sitting in the hotel, I'm like, wait, what you mean? Like, because by this time it was Thursday, we'd already got to Atlanta, and the team had left, and nobody was really chattering about it. But once people settled in and the phone started ringing and stuff, and people realized that he wasn't on the bus, I just thought to myself, it's like, and shout out to my new frat brother, like, yo, to the good brothers, like, but like the idea that as the leader of the team that you miss the bus to get to the opening game in your hometown, to your point, on national TV, it was just more disappointing than anything. I think the world of Jaylen. I think he's a great kid. I think that he is going to be great in the program. But to have that was just disappointing. I think, to the coaches, whatever, like they had a game plan for somebody, and that happens, and you have to adjust. And I just thought that we were just flat. We were just flat, just as an entire team.
And I'm sure that took a lot of energy from the team. When your starting quarterback, the guy who you've been rocking with, like this kid, the players rock with Jaylen. But for the guy you've been rocking with to disappoint you and let you down like that takes a lot of energy out of the room. I'm sure that affected the coaches, because I know people have been kicking the offensive coordinator in his tail all over social media this whole weekend. But the fact is, his game plan got thrown out of the window on Thursday night. Because I'm sure what he had Cam McCoy playing, like they said, they probably intended to play both of them. But Cam McCoy was just supposed to be a package of plays, maybe 7, 8, maybe 10 plays. The game plan was for Jaylen Woods. Now, all of a sudden, your 7, 10 play package becomes the game plan. And then this guy can do certain things with his arm, but there are a lot of things he can't do with his arm. And we were able to get North Carolina Central on their heels because we had started somebody that maybe they didn't expect to see. They didn't know how to gauge him in terms of his speed and quickness and ability. And he was able to make some plays. We were able to make some plays to keep us in the game. That's where coaching strategy came in and ended up hurting us at a point in the game, because why do you pooch kick after you go up 14-10 with 1:49 left in the game?
Hold your horses on. We're gonna get to all that.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
that is yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna, my thoughts about the offensive coordinator and our packaging. You are very well of what I feel like. No matter who's the quarterback, I've had some serious questions. I told Coach this himself, so I'm not saying nothing I haven't told Coach.
Yes.
I just wish that we would open up the playbook regardless, even more. And I think and I hope that because of this dual new multi-quarterback situation system that we should have going forward, that we do that, because I do believe that our play calling for a while, not even just with Jaylen or Cam, has been stale, and we need to figure out how to get better at it. And I think that what the excuse has been in the past is it's been a personnel issue. There is clear that we have some athletes. Putting them in the best position to execute to be great is where coaching comes in my opinion.
Yes.
And so I hope that is where we're going as it relates to development of our players and our scheme going forward. A lot of the chatter in all of the groups was talking about, scheme this, scheme that. But do you believe that had Jaylen been there, it's a different game? And do we win the game? Or what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a different game. I don't know if we necessarily win the game, or I can't make that call. But I think it's a different game. I think we have a different approach. I think we are more methodical and more balanced in what we try to do, because basically the threat of the pass went away at the end of the first half. So, once North Carolina Central discovered that, McCoy was not a great, he can't pass the ball, period, other than trying to throw the deep ball. And once they discovered that, then they adjusted their defense. They made defensive adjustments. And I can hear the people right now saying, at least they made adjustments. We didn't even make adjustments. I already hear the peanut gallery, the street committee saying that in the background. But
I'm in there too, but go ahead.
But, they made some adjustments on defense, and they basically took away his strengths, which was his feet. His strength was his running, I should say. And, made him a one-dimensional quarterback. But I believe if Jaylen's in the game, when Jaylen did come in those last few minutes, you saw the tight end get the ball, you saw the wide receivers get the ball, and it was a different game. I feel like the play calling becomes a different thing. I believe Trey Holly and Michael, now he always forgets that. But I believe the running game becomes even more effective with Jaylen in the game because of Jaylen's ability to pass the ball.
Yeah. No, and first of all, let me just shout out to Cam McCoy, because what he did do was get on the bus. What he did do was be timely, and what he did do was step into a situation that
he put his best foot forward.
He put his best foot forward and stepped into a situation that he did what he could do to do what we need to do. And there was some opportunity. I feel like we still, with all of the things that we talked about, we had some opportunity to think about a different game. And thinking about that, you were talking about the pooch kick. Walk us through the thought process to go up 14-10, crowds going crazy, it felt like we was in Mumford Stadium, crowds going crazy, energy the same, band playing, and we pooched the kick with I don't know, 1:42 or something crazy, whatever the time limit was.
It would have been 1:49 on the clock when they got
on the clock. What was the thought process? What do you think was the...
I don't know, but there's a reason why I carry that towel on the sideline. Anybody who sees me and knows me, there's a reason why I carry that towel on the sideline, and people who are close to me know that's the cursing towel. When you see that towel go up to my mouth, I recognize that we're being taped. We're always on a possibility of being on film. So when you see that towel go to my mouth, I'm usually saying flim, flam, flip. But that was one of those moments like, what? Hey, I was Rob 49. What the hell? That was it. At that point, I'm like, why? Why are we pooch kicking the ball? And they said, well, we were trying to catch them sleeping and thought we could maybe go run under it and recover it. I'm like, not at this point. You have the momentum. Everything, the crowd is on your side. Kick the ball off deep, get down there, make the tackle. 1:49 left in the game. Go down there, play defense. If they're going to score, make them drive the length of the field in 1:49 and make them run a 2-minute drill. You basically left them in their base offense from 50 yards out. Now, of course, they hit on the first play from scrimmage, but that made your defense play different. That made your defense different. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I was sitting there because we were still in the groove of like the band still playing, and like I'm like, wait, did we just kick the ball? Like, and so it was really because there wasn't like this great threat from what I saw of their return game being so strong where they were like they were getting decent yards, but it wasn't nothing that was just like crazy. Your defense is getting cooked every single drive. Every single drive, they're moving the ball on you. So you literally put your team at a disadvantage where we had an opportunity to potentially go into half up with the ball, getting the ball in the second half. I feel like that was one of the biggest. There's some other ones, but that was one of the biggest momentum shifts in the entire game. Well, and once they scored it was just air deflection gone.
The last series, the last series of the first half and the first series of the second half was the ball game. When we did that, we pooch kick, gave them a short field. They go down, score, take a 17-14 lead. We get the ball on for second half kickoff. We go 3 and out, shank the punt, give them the ball at the 32-yard line. They go score again. It's 24-14. That's ball game.
Yeah. Before we even get to us shanking the punt in the second half, we got the ball because they scored so fast. We still got the ball back with time remaining before half. And another point that I think has continuously been questionable for me as a fan, clock management and sense of urgency. We had the ball with timeouts.
54 seconds.
Let 85,000 gazillion seconds run off. Decide to call a timeback.
We weren't capable of doing a 2-minute drill.
But at this point, your defense is getting cooked. When you have the ball in your hands, you got to try something.
Not in that situation.
I hear you. We disagree. I disagree.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'll lay it why.
I disagree 100%.
Number one, you don't have a guy who's a competent passer. Number two, you don't want to give them take the time, or maybe they get an interception or get you in a 3 and out because they still had timeouts too. So if you get the ball deep, you're deep in your own territory. You get the ball, you line up, you get in 2-minute drill. 2-minute drill runs quick. If you don't run the clock out and they get the ball back, like you said, your defense is getting cooked. Give them the ball back with 28 seconds, then they very well may go back and cook you again. They just scored in a matter of seconds this time.
But no, I disagree. I feel like we had a decent run because we were no longer like deep in our own territory when we got the ball back. We had a decent run. I need to go because that's what we stopped watching the game right before half. So film study is a little different there. But we had made a decent run. Even if like you are going to at that point, if you're going to do that, don't start up and then decide with 9 seconds, 8 seconds to go after you've let millions of. It just was piss poor in my opinion, and they continue to have piss poor clock management seasons beyond, and it just continues, and it feels like no urgency is happening. Even if you don't have the personnel, it's like, what are we doing? Like even in the second half, like that same sense of urgency followed us to the second half. We just lackadaisical. It's like we gave up, and that just don't feel good to see the team physically giving up on the team. Forget McCarty, who was our quarterback. Jaylen missed the bus. That ain't nobody's fault but Jaylen's. Play ball. And so it just lacked the sense of urgency. I hope they fix it soon in ASAP.
Yeah, I feel like I talked about last week trauma. Like we carry clock mismanagement over a 10-year period to this staff. Like this staff has only been there a year in a game. But we're still talking about clock mismanagement from 3 years ago. That's the trauma that we have faced at Southern University football. I get what you're saying, and I understand. But in that situation, I wish they had run out the clock and just gone in. I understood they were just trying to get in for halftime. They could have handled it better, could have managed it better, but it is what it is. Now, I do agree in the second half when we got the ball back and we were moved on the drive where Cam fumbled. There should have been a sense of urgency because we needed points at that moment. But I would tell you,
we're playing like we're ahead.
Yeah, but what they did let me know that we weren't capable of running a 2-minute drill with Cam.
And that's why. But that's the issue that I have though, because we've seen in years, we saw what happened in SWAT championship. Like Jaylen got hurt, and so you have to put somebody else out there. So, in my opinion, like from a preparation standpoint, even you're not preparing Cam to be the starter, maybe because he's not the starter. But we can't like go through a season and something happened to Jaylen. It's like, well, that's it. Like this game won.
But I'm not saying that they didn't feel that. I'm sure they felt like they had prepared Cam to do that. But the ebb and flow of the game, it became evident once Cam started throwing that ball in the dirt, that he was like, you could tell it's like a pitcher when a pitcher is done. When a second baseman has the yips, Cam had the yips. He was throwing the ball in the dirt. Like he was missing wide open receivers at some point. He had the yips, and they could tell he had the yips. So I guess in their estimation, they're saying we don't want to put the extra pressure on him over 2-minute drive, and he ended up giving them the ball back. And maybe that's two schools of thought there. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that I understand.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got a game coming up, and so if something happened to Jaylen, if Cam got the yips, put in Tyrone. I don't care. Somebody needs to be
call
out there.
Tyrone.
Call somebody because I mean, it just. But because like we're both 49er fans,
yes,
and like the mentality has always been in sports next man up. And so if you were saying from a depth chart standpoint that this is your second quarterback, like you should be preparing him. I don't know how they're preparing. I'm not that fan that go to practice. Yes. But you should be you should not be in a position like we don't have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady whoever the next man up should be prepared to at least put you in position to win a game. And it shouldn't be, because whatever, like that's just that. And so I just felt like once that collapse happened at the end of the second half, we came out super, super flat, shanked the point, and it just was like all downhill from there.
Yeah, to me, that was the ball game. Yeah, to me, that was the ball. Once we shanked that punt and gave them the ball on the 32, and our defense hadn't stopped anybody, that was the ball game. It was 24-14, and we weren't going to be capable of coming back. At Crook said he finished 9 of 15, but it was 9 of 15 for 70-something yards, something like that. I think
like 77 maybe yards.
Yeah, and he missed the deep balls, but most of those passes were dump offs. He was dumping it to they were short passes, and then he missed a couple of those, and it was what it was, and like you said, you have to have the next guy up. I don't know if Cam is the long term, and I think he did the best that he could. He probably feels like he could play better, which he may be able to. But I felt like in that situation, he gave the best that he could, and he played the best that he could. Maybe in the long term, if we say Jaylen was out injured, maybe Cam isn't the guy that you go to in a long term situation. I don't know. But I know in this situation, it didn't work out. But the thing we're not talking about, we're talking a lot about the offense. But the defense,
cooked.
Jeez.
Cooked.
Jeez.
Like cooked. I mean, cooked. Like I got so tired of saying defense Jags, and here come a touchdown. Like we were getting cooked. I mean, and it was crazy how like easy they made the game feel. And but to your point, like when you have a veteran team and they found the weakness of the opposing team, like they exploited the entire game, and we were literally on the field trying to find our way. As we were going through the different, they completely isolated Kelby. It just didn't feel like nothing was going.
He was being doubled all night, and we didn't have a guy. It was Kelby and 3 other guys, and none of those 3 or 4 or 5 other guys who played showed up. They were getting dominated the whole time. Our linebackers and safeties were missing way too many tackles.
Yeah,
and the defense just they were just not the dog day defense. And
Yeah.
Vincent
Sullivan.
Sullivan, Vince Sullivan, I think he's a good outside linebacker. I think he's a good, but I don't know if he is the guy who can lead the defense in making the calls and getting people in the right places. I think he's a good linebacker. I think he gets a lot of people because he looks the part. He looks the part for sure. But I just don't know if he's the guy, that heart and soul kind of guy. I think he wants to be, but they miss way too many tackles. You can't miss that many tackles and be that guy.
I mean, and the thing about it is, I think for me, it was like, it felt like, like you playing Madden and everybody's going for like the turbo hit, the like hit stick hit, but you're not wrapping up simple tackles. Like there were moments where from a scheme standpoint, like we were in position to make plays and they just completely missed tackles, going for like big hits, like the running back was bouncing off them hits. And we just, I mean, it was sad to see, hard to watch.
Exactly. Instead of the get them on the ground mentality, everybody wanted to have the highlight. There were a few plays that you saw, some things that you were like, oh yeah, that's a good play. But there were too many missed tackles. In the first half, there were a lot of the alignment was wrong. I can remember, it was one time they ran a play to the defensive right side, their left side, and it was only two of our mid. They basically just outnumbered us. We were out of alignment.
We were sitting in the end zone what our band was, and every time our defense was like, I guess, facing the opposite side so we could see the back them, I mean, they were just running. It was like they were playing on a scramble board, and it felt like there was no one. I mean, there were some people trying to like put people where they should be, put them in the right positions based off of whatever the play was called, but they were literally trying to figure it out. And for the life of me, I don't know why our DBs were playing 85,000 yards back. What are we trying to prevent here? Like, we're getting cooked, change it up, pull them up, do something. It was hard.
I mean, literally, we were giving up first downs at will. Like he would just, the quarterback would just rise up, turn around and throw for 11 to 12 yards. It would be 3rd and 7. He would rise up and just throw for a first down. It was that easy pickings. I don't understand what the scheme was right there. I was right there looking, and I still don't understand what that was. I understand playing 7 yards off the ball, but we were playing 11 and 12 yards off the ball.
I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know, when you're playing that far back, at least you have a dependency on your defensive line to get some push. We hadn't got pushed ever. I don't know. We had maybe 2 tackles for a loss. So it's like you are literally setting this veteran quarterback up who's like just cooking your defense up. I mean, he just turned around, to your point. He turned around and the tight ends, the wide receivers, whoever won the ball was open for 10 yards. And that's like, I mean, they averaged like 6 or 7 yards per play. It was insane to watch.
Yeah, it was.
We didn't come out victorious in this game. And so when we think about just overall, so first of all, just from my perspective, I'm not giving up on this team. I think that everything that we want is in front of us. I think that with the proper attitude and adjustments, and thankfully we got a wake-up call at the first game and not week 6. And, what do you think, like from a messaging standpoint to the players, like what should coaches be focused in on as we think about a very tough game that we'll talk about coming soon in Valley on the Road? So where should be our mindset and coaches' mindset?
I think if you're a coach, you have to go in and say, hey, guys, we got to wash this game out. We can't lose twice to North Carolina Central. Yeah. You have to be prepared for Valley. We don't know what Valley has. This is a surprise. So you can't think, oh, this is Valley. This is an easy game. You don't know what Valley has. They've hit the portal a lot. They've gone the JUCO route a lot. They have a new coach Terrell Buckley. So you have to be prepared for anything with Valley. I'm sure Jaylen Woods is laser focused this week, but you have to make him earn it as a coach, to earn his position and hold his feet to the fire. And I think that's just the mentality that you have to have. You have to have, hey, we're going to be a better football team this week. We're going to go out and we're going to do this week what was done to us last week. We're going to take it out on Valley.
Who's that coming from? I mean, as the leader of who would you have identified as a leader?
That has to start
Yeah.
That has to start at the top, but I mean, among players, it would probably be Dupree Fuller. In my
Yeah.
observation, it would probably be Dupree Fuller that had to get that point across. Somebody asked me, what did I think about the defensive tackles? They didn't play well. They did not play. That's my thoughts on the defensive tackle. We're going to have to get better there. They got mauled. They got pushed around. Now, mind you, North Carolina Central, I have to give them props. I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
people understand how good they are, how well they're
That's for sure.
coached. North Carolina Central is not just HBCU, a good HBCU team. They're one of the better teams in FCS. That offensive line is a vet. They return 5 starters, I think, on offense. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
5 or 6 starters
Like
on
20 all
offense.
together. Mm-hmm.
20, but it was like 5 or 6 on offense.
Yeah.
4 of the 5, I think 4 or 5 of them were the offensive line. So they brought back basically the whole offensive line in their quarterback. So they are a very, very good team. They are very well coached. Shout out to my man Trey Oliver. We
Trey
got a chance
Oliver.
to talk before and after the game. And prayers up to his family, by the way. But they're a very well coached team, very good team. And they're one of the better teams in FCS. So don't take this as, oh, Southern is not a good team. Southern has some pieces. Can be a really good team. How they come out and attack Mississippi Valley, play against Valley, is going to be a key to how the rest of this season goes.
Yeah, I mean that's my thoughts as well. I mean I don't know any bright spots from the defensive side of the ball. Like they just go back to the drawing board, and I think we have, to your point, players learning to play together matters, because as you can see, when they're not exactly on the know where they need to be positioned in the field, like they literally just were trying to figure it out. But yeah, so I mean we can't we can't take Valley lightly. I think Valley is. I mean, I was on the phone with them, their ticket people, a few minutes ago, and they're coming out for the game. They're coming out. The people are coming out for the game. They're gonna be really excited to play Southern. They were selling tickets left and right today. Like people are
Yes.
excited about seeing this new chapter of Valley football. And I mean, and we saw every year they get someone, and they get close to getting people, and and so if we come out thinking that getting off the bus with Southern on our chest is going to be enough to win that game on Saturday, we are going to be. You think the people were on 10 and at the Mississippi River after Saturday.
I'm,
If we lose to Valley in Itabena, which is not the easiest place to travel to, go to, play to, man,
I'm
we're
going
gonna
to
have
tell
a
you,
different conversation. I'm not coming to the show Monday, so you're gonna
I'm
just
going
put a box up for me.
I'm going to tell you, if the fact comes in that we lose to Valley, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a Black Sunday and a Blue Monday at Southern University. That's going to be, as Yogi Berra would say, it's like deja vu all over again. Because all I have think about in my mind is Coach Stump Mitchell. That's
Yeah,
all I think about.
a Thursday night, national TV. I drove in from Lafayette. I drove in silence the whole way home, um, because I just still couldn't believe it. I just really, but I in this, it's nothing, a Valley, whatever. The players, like they identified it, coach identified it as a humbling experience in his post game press conference after this game. I just hope that they take heed to that. Them people are going to be frying that fish at 6 a.m. and they're going to be ready for us. They are going to be
Yes.
ready for
The
us to
boots
come.
will be on the ground.
Yes, it's a Western theme, so boots on the ground
Yes.
if you're going to Valley. Um, Question in the chat. We'll be curious to see who starts at quarterback. I want to see the offense looks like we're Ruiz running the show. And I mean, I'm assuming that it's Jaylen. If Jaylen gets on the bus, that Jaylen would be the quarter. That's going to be the running joke for the rest of the season. If Jaylen gets on the bus, he will be the starting quarterback. Is there anything that points to anything different?
I think as long as Jaylen has probably had to apologize to his teammates. He's probably had to go through a lot. But I think that Woods hits the field as a starter, and I think I think the offense looks a lot different.
And so, knowing what we saw with the defense going into this opening game up in the SWAC play with Valley, what I mean, we there are some weak spots, and there is we were exposed in many ways. And I mean, everybody won't have the talent that NCCU had to exploit those weak spots. But what do you think is the fix for us as the season progresses on the defensive side of the ball?
We have to tackle. We have to tackle. All else is out of the window. Scheme, all of that's out of the window if the culture around your program is not getting people on the ground on defense. I don't care how hard you hit them, just get them on the ground. Play your position, do your 111, and tackle people when you get the opportunity. Missed tackles, we almost every touchdown they scored, almost every point crucial during the drives where they scored. We had opportunities to get off the field, and we missed tackles. We have to tackle people.
Yeah, I mean, we all think that that's the fundamental point of the game, and why I love the hit them again harder cheer. I would much rather just see them tackled for losses and folks, just wrap it up. And I mean, I think I don't know, it just seems very much out of position. But the defensive line was a tricky, scary position. And yes. I know last year we had some on the other side of the ball, there was some like mid-season changes from a personnel standpoint. Like, how do we put them from your views? Unc watches the game from the field. I need to have myself in the stands to make sure the Jaguar Nation, not community, is doing what they're supposed to do. But what do you think is like? What is Coach telling his defense after that performance today about how they come forward and do better than that?
He's telling them basically, hey, you got beat up, you got bullied, you got pushed around, and it's up to you whether you're going to decide that that's not going to happen to you again, especially the guys in the middle. You have an all-American defensive end who draws a double team almost every play. One of you guys have to be able to get off the ball and make some plays. One of you, and it's who's going to be that guy. Are you going to continue to let teams beat you up and bully you? Like I said, North Carolina Central is an exception, but this is the time where they have to reestablish themselves. I agree with Coach Graves when he said that they were humbled because they got beat up, they got brutalized, and they got pushed around and bullied. So they're going to have to reestablish themselves, regain their confidence, and that's what Coach is going to try to do, build them up and hope that they can, come back out and reestablish themselves and recommitting to doing what is necessary to be dominant. At this point, you just want them to be competent. Now they don't even have to be dominant. Dominant is in the future. Let's just be a competent defense right now.
Yeah. I think that's spot on. Because I mean, I can see how your competence will go out the window when you have been bullied the way that we were bullied on Saturday. But I hope that this week is different from just a mentality standpoint. We came out with energy, but that energy dwindled down very, 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 very quickly.
Yes.
And so, I hope, we listen, we're going on the road and it's going to be a 4:00 game it's all the things to disaster or not in our favor. So we truly have to 4:00 in Valley, that long drive. I mean, it's just so much. I hope they go there tonight because they need to get their minds right about what kind of situation they're getting into. Speaking of Valley, you shared last week with the people your special position. Uncle won't be on the field this Saturday. Tell the people about what's happening with the SWAT TV and where they can catch Saturday's game.
Make sure you watch SWAT TV. If you're not going to be in Mississippi Valley, if you're not going to be in Itabena, Mississippi, make sure you download the app to SWAT TV or go to Apple TV or Amazon Fire, Roku, wherever you have to go to, and get the SWAT TV app or look for SWAT TV on those platforms and join us. My man Mo Carter and myself on the call as we go to itty bitty Itabena, Mississippi, over Rice Totten Stadium to make the call. Yes. The Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils take on the Southern University Jaguars, and my man Mo Carter will be on play-by-play. I, Reggie Flood, your favorite uncle, will be on the color analyst. You'll see a different side of me. I gotta save my voice. My voice has been going out. But yeah, we're gonna
listen. This is a big break. This is Unc's big break. He about to be on ESPN next, and I'm listening. I listen. I want to be the co-host wherever you go, Unc. So I appreciate it. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. And we're gonna try to give some things. We're gonna. I see people complain about Tiff and Jay all the time, who are both friends of mine, but it's a hard job. And you try to add some extra things to the game. You try to give a little bit of history and those type of things. And we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to make it as entertaining as possible. Hopefully we'll have a great football game to commentate about and talk about. And we're going to do all of those things try to give some history of the universities and the conference and make it entertaining. So tune in, tell us what you think, good or bad, and we're going to have a good time. It's the inaugural broadcast of football on SWAT TV. So make sure you join us. History making.
I appreciate, your gig and the inaugural. It doesn't have to be a good game. It could be 60-0 at halftime, and y'all can just figure out how to fill time and conversation and all of those things so that we can have a stress-free game. But no, I mean, I really do believe that, we'll see a different team this week. And my message to the fans is like, we read the posts, we read the comments, show up for the team. Like, I mean, that is our job as fans. Like, we can all have opinions. Clearly, we get out here every Monday to share our opinions about what we saw. And we share them on our separate platforms, the Coach Melle Report and the live with Uncle Reggie after every game. We all have opinions. But at the end of the day, I, as a fan, spectator for 30 plus years, don't give up on the team, because I see people give up on them so easily.
It's just the second game.
This is the first game. This is the second game, and we have still everything that we want to accomplish this season is before us, and we have the toughest of the slate of the games inside of Mumford Stadium. So still show up for the team. If you're coming to Itty Bitty on Saturday, we're wearing Columbia blue. So just be there. I mean, many people don't travel to Valley, but there are multiple buses going. So even if you want to drive the long drive, just show up for the team in ways that
this is where you earn the name Jaguar Nation.
Yeah.
Because see, the Jaguar Nation would show up. Now, if you just some fans of the Jaguar community, the Jaguar Nation would show up. They would show up and pack Valley out and be tailgating and everything. This is the time where the team really needs you to support them. Hey, they lost the game to a very good team. Let's start the season over, come out the Valley, and have a good time and watch the Jaguars play. This is where the Jaguar Nation should show up. That's what I think.
And you go out the bus with us and have a good time. We can talk sports all 55 hours to Valley. We can break it down from beginning to end. It's incumbent upon us to really show up for the team and show up, in a way that makes sense. So any final thoughts on NCCU, and then we'll get into predictions for Valley, and then some band highlights, and then we will get out of here.
For me, one thing I want to do, this game is in the books. North Carolina Central is a very good team, very well coached. And I think we just have to flush this one out, move ahead, get ready for Valley, and, just do what we have to do. But that game is over. Don't lose to North Carolina Central twice in the season, at least not 2 weeks in a row. And go out, prepare for Valley, and get well. That includes the Jaguar community, the Jaguar Nation, and all who support, the team. And the team, just have to flush that game out and move on. It's Monday. The 24-hour rule is a little bit past. It's Monday. Let's let the inside the game be the end of your discussion. Like I posted in one of the groups on Facebook. Are y'all done yet? So they're not firing they're not going to fire Coach Graves. They're not going to fire AD Banks. None of that is going to happen because of y'all social media complaining. So get over it. Get prepared for this week. Get your Columbia blue out. Don't come in gold this week. Wear your Columbia blue.
We're building momentum. We're building momentum. I mean,
Exactly.
It was so many gold shirts in Atlanta, and I was like, this is when I knew that I had done good jobs with putting out a scheme. The president of the university showed up in gold.
Now, can I say this? I have this issue, and I'm not really a coach complainer, but I do complain about this. If you're going to ask the fans, and I've said this for the past few years, if you're going to ask the fans to dress in gold, the team has on gold jerseys. What did the team wear? Blue or gold? Blue jersey or gold jersey? Blue. Okay, the team, they had to, because they were the home team. But if you're going to ask the fans to have a gold out, a gold rush, Coaches wear gold, not royal blue.
Well, let me give you some history on this color scheme for away games on, and I will just put the foot to the fire of athletics. So what happened was, and the reason that I even started putting out color schemes for folks to wear the games, because this is actually a quarterback club initiative that we started because I reached out to athletics and I was like, hey, people keep asking me like every game what color do athletics puts it out for home games. I was like, you should incorporate away games because like people travel and this is just an easy way to like show unity amongst games or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just like this was like 2 or 3 years ago and I got so much pushback for it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it on my own, and we're building a movement. And so athletics,
that is,
I'm here for you. So yeah,
this is my thing. This is my thing, and I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm with you on that. But you know what I'm also with? Stop wearing that damn royal blue. Our colors are not royal blue, and every time I know where it comes from, and I'm not gonna call names because I have to fight that person. But stop wearing the royal blue. I despise that royal blue. Please stop, because those are not our colors. They're not our colors. Stop wearing the royal blue. There's one person, one or two people in particular who are insist on wearing royal blue. If you remember a few years ago during the Pete Richardson era, we completely switched to royal blue uniforms. Mm-hmm. They even had royal blue helmets. Royal blue is not our colors. Please stop wearing the damn royal blue. Even the coaches on the coaching staff, they came out in royal blue. I'm like, come on.
Well, let me just put this out there. That is Yuonk, and I am 100% all about a color scheme. But I just got this royal blue satin throwback satin quarterback club jacket from an older member from the years ago. When I say I can't wait to pop that on with a yellow turtleneck over in Arkansas Pine Bluff in November, listen to me. But I get it. Yes, I get it. I mean, we've kind of the royal blue. we used to still have like royal blue shakers and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that we need to get to, but it's a momentum building and it's an easy way to show unity. And it really looks good on TV. Yes, like it was really good to see the majority of our crowd on TV in the same color. And that was the whole point of me starting it. So shout out to
keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, man. Do we need to get our sponsors in?
Yeah, we need to get our sponsors in. Then we'll do a band highlight, and then we'll make predictions for Saturday. And then we'll go. So we'll drop those sponsors in. Yep. Yes. You can become a proud sponsor of Inside the Game. Here's the perfect way to do that. Join us, become live, subscribe, like in our YouTube. But this is the way that you can become individual sponsors of the game. And we have 2 specific special sponsors. Take it away.
Yes, this is the Inside the Game with Coach Melle and Uncle Flood. Reggie Flood is presented by the Southern University Agricultural Center, the Southern University Ag Center. Check them out at www.suagcenter.com, 225-771-2272. It's the Southern University Agricultural Center. And brought to you by the law firm of Patrick McGee at 700 St. John Street, Suite 500 in Lafayette, Louisiana. 337-476-2433. The McGee firm. Pat McGee is a proud alum of the Southern University Law Center. Hey, I love my man Pat. If you need an attorney, you're down in Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Houma, wherever you are in Lake Charles, within the listening area, and you need a great lawyer, call my man Pat McGee at the Patrick McGee Law Firm in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's 337-476-4233 or themcgeefirm.com.
Yes, and if you have any businesses, if you want to be featured on our show, commercial, anything, you can do that right here. Before we get into we're gonna drop it. Our subscription to YouTube, you can do all those things. That's the easiest way to support us by doing all of those things, following the site, etc. Well, I'm a band fan. Unc is building his character to not be considered a band hater, as he puts it. He does like the band. Unc likes the band. So we added an addition to our show a couple last season. And so we want to continue that tradition with our band spotlight moment of the game. Before we go into the spotlight, I want to shout out the student leaders and the Human Jukebox. They did a phenomenal job of selling our institution this weekend, from high school visits to performances, top tier experience for the students. I met so many students in the Atlanta area who were considering coming to Southern, and I feel like the band just was like top tier. They were able to accept students on the spot on Saturday. There were students who got scholarships. The whole institution really took this Atlanta experience and like maximized it. And I don't think we don't talk about that enough, about how we take these moments to recruit for our institution. Again, students drives us to even have a football program. So this is great. Love it. Shout out to everybody who was involved. Passion, Winton, Michelle, like Miss Southern, the court, everybody. It was great. Dr. Taylor, like it was great all across the board. And with that being said, our band moment of the week is none other than Southern University performing Mariah the Scientist's hits Burning Blue. I think we have the clip. I hope we have the clip. Or maybe we don't have the clip. If we don't have the clip, we will show the clip next week. But yo, I don't think we have the clip. It's all good. So with that being said, anyway, shout out to the band. Mariah Sanchez, Burning Blue. The artist commented on the band's page talking about she was ready for a schedule in the send her the schedule of the game in the uniform. So hopefully we'll get a Mariah the Science performance appearance in Mumford or around here in the next few weeks. Wiley said that the clip is playing. Maybe we just don't see it.
Yes, maybe we aren't seeing it in studio. It was playing.
We're back. Okay, yes, good. It was playing. So you got to see. Listen, live television, live YouTube streaming is a real thing. So shout out to Wiley for all the cues and all the things that are happening behind the scenes to make us know what's going on. But yeah, Mariah the Scientist, shout out to the band. Shout out to everybody who was a part of that. And with that being said, predictions for Saturday's game. And we said last week, you decide whether you're going with your head or your heart today. You can't make predictions because you're on the show.
I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I literally forgot just that quick that there's rules to television. Well, I most of the time always pick us, so I'm obviously picking Southern, but I just think we have to come out as if we're playing a game, and again, don't rely on the Southern on your front of your jersey to make you get off the bus and win the game. Play fast, play hard, and the Jaguars will be victorious, and we will be getting ready to come back to Mumford next week, which I cannot wait for the home opener in Mumford Stadium. With that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us again, working through us with the technical difficulties. If you're coming to Itabena, see you in your Columbia blue. If you need a way to get to to Itabena, hit me up. We have bus spots, very few bus spots available for the trip. Pleasant experience with Southern University Quarterback Club. Take us out of here.
Tell you what, if the man upstairs says the same, we'll be back at the same time in the same place. Because as always, we'll take you inside the game.
Peace.